Hello and welcome back to my stream, Ancient Gaming. I am Zilla.
I am Tortoise.
And today we are returning to Hades 2, a game about fighting the various pieces of Greek mythology with other pieces of Greek mythology. Yay! Welcome. It's lovely to have you. If you are here live, we'd love to hear from you in chat. If you do not wish to be spoiled on this game, as we are in stream 15, 16, I keep getting the numbers wrong when we start these games. I should really look it up ahead of time. You should probably take some time to check out our previous episodes. All of my streams are recorded and put up on my YouTube channel. Zilla's out the name. You can see in the frame. You can hear about all of the things that I am doing and streaming and other stuff on my socials, which are also down there. If you do happen to experience interruptions in the live stream, I am so sorry. We have not been able to figure out why that is happening. It does seem to be very temporary, and it will not show up in the recording, so those of you who are watching after the fact, sorry, it's fine. We're doing our best. In any case, a little bit of catch up for those of you who are new to Hades 2 and don't mind being spoiled. We are playing as Melinoe, the daughter of Hades and Persephone. Our family has been kidnapped and imprisoned by the Titan Kronos, also the Titan of Time here in this game, who is our grandfather, Hades' father. And we are trying to fight with our witchcraft down from just below the surface all the way to free them, and also we have been recruited by Olympus to fight upwards to free Olympus from Typhon, who is attacking them at Kronos' behest. So if you're here, it's probably because you're interested in Hades 2, in Greek mythology, in all of the weird ancient study stuff that I like to talk about. Don't worry, there will be plenty. So with no further ado, shall we get playing?
Sure. I did want to point one thing out that I don't think we've talked about. So we have these witch shades that are assisting Hecate.
Mm-hmm.
And their design is very similar. There were
witch enemies in Hades 1, yeah.
And the two main differences are that these are green instead of, like, most of the hostile shades were orange or red in Hades 1. And they have that conical thing on their heads that we see in a lot of the witches' designs in different places.
What do you mean?
Like, on the back of their heads, you have this...
their big poofy ponytail things?
Yeah, but it's very much in the, some of them have it on their earrings, some of them have it on, if you, I don't know if I can talk to Hecate right now, I might have to leave and come back. Like those...
The tassels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's meant to be the same motif.
That's very likely. They definitely do have the moon motif in their staves. And, their staves have kind of two horns, like the crescent moon is often considered like a horn shape. Being that Hecate is the goddess here, Titan of witchcraft, it makes sense that the witches would be hers to command. And we do actually, all of the spirits here are that kind of green shade, all of the friendly ones. Oh, look, it's a kitty!
Mm-hmm.
I'm easily distracted by cats.
So, in addition to being a cat, one of the things that Tula does as a familiar is if you sprint by her, she will wake up No, come over this way. Over.
Kitty. I don't think she's gonna.
It'll just take a little while.
Herding cats, folks.
Okay, well, sometimes... Oh.
Skelly isn't even here.
So never mind. If Skelly were here, she would go up and attack him a few times and then take a nap again.
What a
And so you have to rush past her to wake her up every time.
Isn't she adorable?
Alright, so I've got staff. I tried going up last time, but I didn't get very far, so I'm going to go up again.
In the name of the moon.
Hold up here.
Oh.
So, Apollo and Hermes have a bit of a rivalry, starting from when Hermes was a bare infant, a day old, and got out of his crib to play a prank on Apollo and steal his cattle. And Apollo only forgave him because along the way Hermes happened to invent the lyre, which took Apollo's fancy. The best known version of this story comes from the hymn to Hermes. It's known as the Homeric hymn to Hermes. Not even Homerists who believe in a singular Homer. No place on the surface openly worships the gods of the underworld. That is very taboo. Like, you build shrines, but nobody, like, lives there. You don't want to draw the attention of any underworld powers. It's...
All right.
The steel of fear, which once stood in solemn tribute to the fear-inducing underworld king and queen, now barely stands at all.
Yet it stands in my way. I see you.
But yeah, so even people who believe that there was a single individual Homer, whose versions of the Iliad and the Odyssey we have, do not tend to think that about the Homeric hymns. They're just in a similar sort of mythic style. They all tend to be dactylic hexameter. They're all probably oral tradition. I love this version of the Dia so much. What in the world?
The sorceress returns. Not had your fill of this putrescent atmosphere, or merely not succeeded yet in breaking the Titan siege.
Not succeeded yet. Kronos can replenish his forces as quickly as Olympus can repel them. Have you found any weaknesses in their ranks?
They cannot be permanently slain, are barely susceptible to my most noxious poisons, and are single-minded in their devotion to the Titan Lord. Any of those sound like weaknesses?
Just ridiculous. Anyway, so the hymn to Hermes, we call them the hymn to Hermes, the hymn to Demeter, things like that. It's really just like, these are dactylic hexameter mythological poems about various gods. So in this case, you know, the hymn to Hermes follows him from the day of his birth to the Titan Maya. His father is Zeus, of course. Because, of course, who else would it be? And as a one-day-old god, he decides that he's bored, gets out, and immediately trips over a tortoise. Yeah. I don't know if you could hear Tortoise whimpering just there, because this is the saddest part of the story. He looks at the tortoise shell, decides that would make a great resonator for an instrument, kills the tortoise, and makes the very first lyre. He then proceeds to wander out to where Apollo's sacred cattle are. He is like, oh, this will be a really great, fun thing to do. I'm gonna steal these cattle and kill them for my own purposes. And just to confuse things, he turns all the cattle's hooves backwards and backs them out of the paddock so that the only tracks are going inward. This may be familiar to any of you who are familiar with the Central and South American myth of the Curupira. Backwards facing feet as a trick. Hermes is often cited as a trickster god if you follow the archetypal sorts of things for types of gods that exist. He also has chthonic powers. He's linked to the underworld as one of the few Olympians. Well, he's basically the only Olympian who can freely come and go to the underworld as the messenger. Basically, he finds ways to evade the rules. So anyway, he steals the cattle, he does what he wants with them, and then he goes back and takes a nap in his crib. And Apollo, of course, figures all of this out. And you're not gonna get the fish?
Well, I wanted to wait for you to finish talking until I got the fish.
I see.
Because Tula.
Because Tula will fish for you.
Yeah.
See that one, Tuna?
Oh, baby.
Victory. Fine work, Tuna.
Fine work, kitty. Good job. So he takes this little infant before Zeus and says, hey, what the heck? Do something about this. And Zeus is like, what? And Hermes is like, I'm just a little baby. I didn't do nothing. And like he's like wearing a cowhide. You know, like it's not like they're not fooled. Even in the poem.
Strength from shades.
And Zeus basically just starts cracking up and doesn't feel like rendering judgment because he was just too amused. And then by way of sort of apology, Hermes is like, well, I made this shiny toy, and plays a few notes on the lyre, and Apollo is like, okay, fine. Give that to me for my thing and I'll forgive you. And so the lyre has ever since been Apollo's instrument, the instrument of lyric music and poetry, because all these poems were songs. These are all music. And Hermes got away with his tricks. I do think it's kind of funny that they have those upright sarcophagi. And
No surprise that Stripe and Carnage recently decided to show up as she has work to do. Icarus made good sport of us before. Must think we're fools of easy prey. Incorrect her.
I mean, that was pretty foolish. She is making reference, of course, to the incident with the golden apple that Eris threw in the midst of Hera, Aphrodite, and Athena, with the word "for the fairest" carved into it, Kaliste.
It'll be all right. Be free.
Was I talking about something else? I'm sure it was. I got distracted by the minigame.
Death to the servants of Chronos.
What is this guy? I can't get a clear image of him. Is he a satyr? He's got horns.
I can't remember what he is called.
There is some difference of opinion here regarding where your efforts are of greatest benefit. We shall keep the matter on Olympus well in hand, but we cannot enter Kronos in your father's realm as easily as you.
No getting used to that. Let's get out of here.
Hey, Colin.
My niece.
Good evening, boatman. I shall, my lord. Until then, we each have our tasks to complete.
Continually amused by the implication that she understands what he's saying, where her brother definitely did not.
Step right up. You know who's disrespected me like this? Nobody took my sheep, took my eye.
He,
Well, sometimes we've no one to blame but ourselves.
yeah, no, he's referring to Odysseus.
Pay for all that someday. But you gotta pay right now. Metaphorically, I mean. I'm not gonna take your money. He's gonna eat you. Bones and all.
Famously, Odysseus taunted the Cyclops after, in fact, eating his food and then getting him drunk and blinding him. Said that his name was Nobody. At least until he got far enough away that he didn't think the Cyclops could do anything to him, and then he shouted his name back at the Cyclops. Which was a bad move, because it turned out that the Cyclops' father was Poseidon, and Poseidon was like, well, I'm gonna get ya. What's with the little... Oh, sheep bombs. Since when are there sheep bombs?
I think they're just sheep. I don't think they're bombs. I think there's fire going on for other reasons. Oh,
I'm pretty sure they're sheep bombs. They look
Oh.
like they're blowing up. I don't approve of blowing up sheep.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I do find it an amusing nod to Earthworm Jim. That's the one with the exploding sheep, right?
I think it's worms.
Worms, yes. I get those two properties mixed up. I wonder why.
Try another one, maybe.
An interesting outcome of the Odysseus calling himself nobody meme is someone I know is playing this game, the Limbus Company, and all of the characters are literary references, and the actual like way that they extrapolate from that is incredibly wild, like just like very bizarre stuff. But the character based on Odysseus is called Otis, as a spelling of Outis, how you might say nobody in ancient Greek. I don't know what the deal with Otis is beyond the name offhand. You know what the other advantage of going up is, right? Is, we might run in to Icarus.
Most of them already sunk before, however many times. They and their dead crews keep coming back to haunt us. Now that's dedicated service, eh?
Makes you think of Davy Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Well, I haven't gotten this one. I don't like it, but I'll take that.
Hear that little moo? Oh.
Although I'm not using my magic much anyway, so. Ooh.
Need to get closer. They never learn.
Every time there's that little music change, I get all hopeful that maybe it's Icarus. So far, nope.
Transform.
There's a dirt. Somehow there's a pile of dirt with a plant in it on this ship.
I think it's mandrake root or mandrake seed.
There he is! Yes! I wasn't sure if we'd see him or not. Maybe all my talking about him summoned him.
We made it.
Alright. Oh, here.
Your arm never got better, did it? I'm really sorry. I should never have put you on the spot.
Not your fault. I had grown very confident in my abilities. Headmistress always said there was no way to make shades whole again, but I thought otherwise. Overextended. Nonetheless, I'm not going to forget.
I felt so bad. Pretty much anybody in the crossroads knew. Thought I'd never see you again. But I think for the best. I had a lot I needed to sort out.
And how did it go? You learned to fly at least. Top of your list of fears. Conquered. With your father's wings, no less.
These wings are mine, though. And that was a part of it. I had to learn to do things for myself, like you did. And for what it's worth, I think your arm looks amazing.
Aww. They're so cute.
Please.
So, that's, I think, as much of that story as we get of how her arm got turned ghostly like that. Seems she was, as a girl, trying to do some magic to make Icarus whole, at least enough to be able to feel the way that living entities do. One thing about the Greek underworld is that shades are largely unable to feel. Like, they refer to the place as the underworld as sunless, and even the Elysian fields are not said to be comparable to life on the surface. In order to have much of themselves left, shades often need to consume something human, blood. Not necessarily human blood, but, you know, they need to have some touch of warmth from the surface, or be granted some kind of boon. And even then, it's only very temporary. So, like, a good example of this, a couple of good examples from the Odyssey. Odysseus does have a catabasis, which is to say he goes to the underworld and comes back, with the help of Circe, no less. One of his men had to die to become their guide. Oh, speak of the which.
Behold that ancient isle on which a great enchantress plies her trade. Amid such flora and fauna as have come to welcome her as one of their own.
It feels so safe and peaceful here.
Now, I don't know if this is the same... Is it what, Aiaia? That is the name of Circe's isle in the Odyssey?
Yeah.
Or if this is a different isle.
She said something about moving her island, and I don't know whether that means she moved her island or she moved islands.
Welcome, Poppet. Though forgive me that I have not invited you inside my little hut. Such hospitality I don't extend to anyone. And I make no
She did
exceptions, not
once.
even for you.
Madam Circe, that is perfectly alright. There's no need to explain. We all live in seclusion in our own way. What other way is there? With privacy comes peace of mind.
I'm grateful that you understand.
Oh, there we go.
My simple home with beasts, but that is all. This Isle of Alia is not mine, of course. Rather, it's my dear companion, and can be yours. So please, help yourself to anything you need whilst here.
I love her so much. She's so good. What was it you said the other day? It was like, I was like, why is she a cat girl? And you were like, well, wouldn't you be if you had the power to transform people into animals? And I'm like, yeah. So.
Do I want more healing? Because I am pretty beat up. Or I could... Oh, this is funnier.
I am...
Did it work?
And notice that her voice also gets deeper when this happens.
Don't be frightened.
She gets, she just basically, gets expanded. She's bigger, has a deeper voice. When I first saw that option, I really, because Circe's character is drawn as fat, I was really hoping that we'd get to see Melinoe drawn as fat.
Which way now?
Alas. There is also one for shrinking, and your voice gets higher. But yes, Circe did actually in the Odyssey have a coterie of handmaidens who lived with her, who were something like apprentice sorcerers, maybe. And also, she most certainly did invite Odysseus into her house. Although invite might be the wrong word, depending on which version of events you follow.
So, we have this shrine to Hermes. I don't know if we've seen these before.
Shrine to Hermes. Look who's here. It's the tortoise, and he's fine.
Yep.
Tortoise friend is fine. And he has the cutest little blink. Ba-doop. It's not quite even.
And so you can get things that are delivered later. And if you
Hermes is fast,
encounter,
but the tortoise is slow.
but you can pay extra for rush delivery to get them now.
I was talking about something before we got off on the topic of Circe. Oh yes, the underworld. So Circe instructs Odysseus how to get to the edge of the underworld and treat with the shades. And basically he has to sacrifice a black sheep and let only certain shades come up to drink the blood. And he sees his mother there, and talks to her. He lets his mother drink the blood, and they have a few minutes of conversation. Then stepmother, yes. I mean, true, but not generally friendly. The other sort of notable person that Odysseus speaks to is Achilles, you know, his companion from the battle who died towards the end of the war. And Achilles famously says, "I would rather live one more day under the sun than be the king of Elysium." He also encounters the shade of Ajax, another warrior from above, but Ajax is so offended by Odysseus and how Odysseus treated him that he turns his back and will not speak. Something echoed in the Aeneid, by the way, if you're interested in this kind of stuff. Virgil's Aeneid draws a lot on purpose on both the Iliad and the Odyssey.
Like you and Nemi had a child, which, come to think of it, is just about the worst thing I've ever imagined. And I've imagined a lot.
Then imagine what I'm about to do to you in this form, courtesy of Circe the Enchantress. Had you not been so delinquent, you could have learned from her yourself.
What, Air is not a fan of the giant woman thing?
That's the difference between you and me. You need somebody to teach you everything, while I've got pure instinct.
She is a bit of a freak. Rude! Well, now she just has to die.
Ugh. I'm taking a lot of damage. Oh, what?
Don't get hit by this because it's plus 100.
Oh.
How about this?
Oh, I had death. I have Death Defiance on. Right.
Right, because you have Tula. Don't stand in the fire. Just a tip.
Thanks. Thanks.
She is really funny.
You started it.
Good kitty.
Now the climb.
Tula thing. Hop.
How much money do I have? 173. Money's pretty good.
Made it this far. That's not your property.
Depiction of Ares.
The majesty of Mount Olympus lies half buried underneath a heavy coat of snow, which masks the scars and blemishes of a protracted siege.
Beautiful. I'm flying. Wait.
Yeah, I do kind of love those, like, little trampoline things. Very silly.
We showed them Tula.
And that was Hermes delivering stuff bought at his shrine, at the Tortoise Shrine.
Oh, sure.
You feel that sort of fact?
Hang on here.
The Titans follow us.
Oh, you guys. Ah.
This is such a fascinating depiction of the safeguards on Olympus. These little robots. I think I've mentioned before that, it's not at all unrealistic to think of robots as a thing that the Greeks would have, accounted for in their mythology, because of course we do have all of these automata, mechanical wonders,
Boys of the sun.
marvels made by Daedalus. You have a mining thing.
Yeah, thanks.
The giant Talos, the humanoid homunculus Pandora, and so it's not at all unthinkable for Olympus to be guarded by Hephaestus's automata. You see this idea sort of carried out in Hades 2. You see it in Phoenix Rising, Immortals Phoenix Rising, that's the full name. I always forget because Immortals is such a generic name. You don't really need to pause, do you?
No, force of habit.
I love the wall art, the mosaics. Oh, and here's our version of Talos here. Indeed, as a metal automaton. He doesn't have legs, so not true to the myth in that way, but the idea of him as an automated protector, definitely.
I think that in this instance, he was remade to avoid that weakness.
Ah.
Since that was his undoing.
Yes. So, the original version of Talos had the ichor that animated him was flowing through his body like blood, but it was stopped in by a plug at his ankle, and Medea noticed it.
You see that Icarus flying about? It
Oh.
was some giant ghostly bird, but that kid in Daedalus, alright? I reckon you made it the latest from yourself. It's not too bad.
And of course, the god of an inventor is going to be Hephaestus, the god of craftsmen. Molly.
No, it's
no,
Iris.
Oh, and it is rainbow colored too. That's cute. Iris is the rainbow, who is the one of the messengers of the gods. Unlike Hermes, she cannot go to the chthonic gods.
Oops.
But the idea is that when you see a rainbow, it is Iris carrying a message from one region of the sky to another. So, one god to another.
Oh,
Oh. About to see somebody interesting.
Lady Athena.
Hello there, Lady Athena. Is this the first time we've seen her?
no, because I
Okay.
can gift her. I don't know if I have.
Lady Athena, while we have a moment, I wish to offer you this nectar as a token of my gratitude. If I'd only known that we would meet here, perhaps I'd have arrived even sooner.
Nonsense, for I'm certain that you made your journey here as quickly as you could. Well, I of course accept your offering, but I shall be saving it for when our victory is achieved. This, however, you may be able to use sooner.
Wonderful.
You honor me with such a gift, goddess.
The Gorgon, of course, being one of
If you were
Athena's
ahead, the Titan
symbols.
Prometheus is able
See
to
her on the
eliminate
shield
our
there,
foes
Medusa's
from
head.
the Vanguard forces. We'll have no choice but to confront you if you press on.
He's the Titan of foresight. He knows exactly what we're planning, doesn't he? And can retaliate accordingly.
He knows what is to come to some extent, yes, but he can only see outcomes, not read minds. And just because he knows you're coming doesn't mean he can stop you. Choose.
How strange.
I like Divine Dash, but it'd be nice to have that Death Defiance back.
A wise choice.
Go to you.
Now I must go.
Come on out.
Oh man, I don't know if I've seen that one before.
What is going on here?
Oh, have we not seen this before?
So yeah, I guess this is a first meeting.
Welcome to Dionysus's The World is Ending party.
And I hope you're prepared for this.
What sort of meat do we have here? Not from the waters nor the woods, but wait. Those eyes. Zach, man, is that you? You've changed. I like it.
Okay, but look at how Dionysus handles this idea, right? This is very typical for Dionysus. Dionysus is gender fluid in the mythology. If you read the Euripides Bacchae, very clear. Dionysus is the god of transgression, of the blurring of boundaries, of exotic things and thinking the unthinkable and doing the strange. And one of his qualities is that he might not be the appropriate marker all the time. And so the idea that his friend Zagreus might just have become a woman, yeah, sure, why not? Why wouldn't that happen? This is Greek mythology. Anything is possible. It's like Zombocom. You're welcome. I love you, Tortoise. But I also want you to notice the symbols of Dionysus. If we haven't seen him here before.
No, I'm sorry. I just cannot let this 28-year-old reference go unacknowledged.
Is it really that old? Oh gosh, we are old. But I just want to talk about Dionysus's design for a second, because of course, one of the things that was going around Archeo gaming circles when the stills and some of the god designs were first released for this game were so they made everything 10% thirstier. So the very obvious leopard hammock, but we also have this sort of, he's manly, but he's got this very voluptuous flowing hair, and he's wearing his grapes as a sort of beret almost. He's partying during what is for the rest of the Olympians a time of crisis. He's got these drinking vessels, these craters. You can see they have these little curled handles at either end. One game that they would play is you drink your wine, and then with the last drops you'd play a game of who could flick it the most accurately across the room. And I love that they've got little martini things in them, because of course they look most similar to modern martini cups of any alcohol. They're drinking wine. They're drinking wine at this time.
But it's still grapes on them. It's
grapes on them, but it could be olives, right? Those look like olives, and both of those are very important food staples for Greek culture from then till now.
Maybe they only look purple because of the haze.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. I don't know. But either way is very, very true to the Greekness of it. And they're of course whatever. I say it's wine, but they're smoking purple smoke. Who knows what's in there?
I believe it's called festive fog in this game.
He is surrounded by satyrs and nymphs, which are indeed his sort of chosen allies. They're dancing around. They're skinny dipping in the pool. He's got.
I don't think they're skinny dipping.
It's hard to say.
I think they've still got
loincloths or something.
No, I think they've still got garments on their top.
It looks like they have towels around their necks.
Oh, okay. I don't know. We'll be able to see better when we're out of this.
But he's got his leopard by his side, one of his big symbols. The reason that the leopard is one of his symbols is because he's associated with foreignness. There are theories that he comes from as far away as India. Although he seems to be a purely Greek god, unlike Aphrodite, who really genuinely was adopted into the mythology from Near Eastern mythology. You can go ahead if you want.
Lord Dionysus, I presume. I'm an enemy, sister to Zagreus. I've come to the mountain's aid at the family's behest. But what is the meaning of this festivity? Aren't you at war?
Oh, no, right, you just mentioned.
Your mountain is under siege. Kronos took my side of the family, and soon he may take yours.
With all reason to raise a couple, we still can, yeah? Though I get it's your thing, but why not have a little pick-me-up for the road ahead?
So, in comedy, Dionysus is often depicted as a coward, as one of the frequent sort of associations. That he talks a good game, but he just kind of... Yeah, so you can see, like, the satyrs and nymphs just floating around, some of them dancing. There's these shades with little towels. Oh my gosh, I love the little dance. They couldn't be bothered to give them any better dancing, or any more varied dancing than that. The whole place is covered in grapevines. There's a disco ball, which is, I mean, in this game, who knows, right? Because we've got references to lots of other stuff. But
In Hades 1, you can get a disco ball in the lounge.
isn't it a disco skull?
That's an alternative version of it.
I for one, would prefer a disco skull.
Mhm.
Rude, but not false.
You're not Lord Charon.
Heights such as these are no place for the boatmen of the underworld, and yet his wares are curiously to be found, born here perhaps by eyes that remain unseen.
I certainly appreciate.
So little cardboard cutout. Charon. Oh. They're not going to explain it any better than that. There's just a shop here, don't ask. Which is probably, honestly, the best way to handle it. Even if a little tongue-in-cheek. And then we have this lost shade wearing a parka because it's cold up on Mount Olympus. Of course, the little mini game gets longer the higher up you go. What, you didn't want to spring up to the next level?
Well, I don't have any need of,
Extra magic.
yeah, since I automatically get 5 magic every room.
That's yours.
And I'm not using magic. Ah.
So if you let them, will they in fact fight each other?
Well, the first one I kill comes back to fight for me.
Right, but like the automata and Kronos's.
Oh, I don't know.
Meow.
Restored. What's for delivery?
Don't you just want to squish his little hand? He's so cute.
Express shipping, please. In we go.
I think that's an olive branch that will grow into an olive tree.
Oh, neat.
Yes, I accept this message.
Alright. Let's see how I fare against the Titan of Foresight.
The age of gods shall end. Time shall see to it. And thereafter a golden age of enlightenment shall begin, in which you gods hold far less sway.
So I just want to talk about that for a second because the attitude that this game has towards the gods is very weird. right? You're fighting as one of the gods. Your enemy says that he wants to bring about a golden age for mortals. Prometheus talks about this golden age of enlightenment in which gods will have far less sway. We, as we understand the literary irony that the gods will in fact hold less sway over time in the future of this game. Ostensibly our modern world, but like, in context, he seems to be saying that Kronos will win, and that Kronos actually gives a damn about mortals, which we have not seen any sign of. It's really fascinating to me.
On the other hand, like, if there is one thing that Prometheus gives a damn about, it is mortals.
Right. It's true. Since his whole thing was giving fire to mortals so that Zeus would not be able to easily just wipe them from the face of the earth.
Even though he knew he would get punished for it.
By this eagle.
Yes.
This one right
If I
here.
somehow gave you the impression that I'm interested in your doomsaying and false prophecies, I assure you I'm not.
Your disregard is the very reason you're no longer fit to rule. I know you'll never relinquish this mountain. Fall with it, then.
Cat versus bird. As interesting as I find these games, I do hope that there's not a Hades 3. But if they did one, I would kind of hope that there would start being some influence from other cultures around. I always find that so interesting when we have like multiple pantheons, and like, just because we have this tendency to talk about ancient cultures as if they existed in these little pockets and didn't interact with anybody around them, and that's just not true. The people that we call ancient Greeks, first of all, did not think of themselves as a unified country for most of that time. But second of all, they were in close contact with the peoples surrounding them, and particularly got a lot of their knowledge from Egypt. Like, if there's one thing that you can sort of trust from Herodotus, it's when he talks about the great source of knowledge that Egypt presents and how much older of a culture it is, how far it goes back. He says he's seen with his own eyes, which is something he doesn't say about a lot of the things that people ding him for. The halls of the kings of the past with records going back, like, I think it's something like 10 times as long as the Greeks have history. Notice that these flames have never belonged to you. But like, I do think it would be really interesting to see, some Persian or Egyptian influence in these games, which certainly would have been.
I think Tula finished
got
him
it.
off.
Cat wins!
I can only do my part.
Silence. Save your troubles with your master Kronos.
It's not my troubles that I need to save. Agents of change. You got annihilate. You all.
You did it, Tuna.
Good kitty.
A
So is this the first time we've gone up past Prometheus then?
Yep, that's my first time beating Prometheus, so now we get to
Wonderful.
see the pinnacle.
Some assistance, please.
There's a fish hanging out in the fountain.
Looks like
Wonderful.
there's-
Alright. Do I take the tooth or knuckle bones? No, I can't take the Gorgon amulet. But I could take... let's do this.
From
This storm.
Prophecy foretold.
well, I like the image there of the snake-like tendrils weaving through the stone and the statues. Whoa.
Ow. Thought I was dashing through that. Okay, do I want...
I'll see that big spike come down from above. The big eye on it. Funny that she should use gods as a curse like that. But yeah, even she doesn't know what this is. It kind of looks like something out of like a Batman villain menagerie. And then we get like this music, like, you know, da 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 da.
Oh boy, I'm getting just clobbered.
How can you tell?
Well, I can see the damage that he's doing to me every time he does it. I might just hang back and let Tuba do the dirty work.
I'll have to wake her up first.
Ah!
Try not to grip the controller too tight. I'm sure you need this advice.
Whew.
The monsters of various stripe were born of Gaia in the beginning. Before the Titans.
Next floor. Up there.
There's that nice big spiky dude again.
Ah! Keep thinking that I'm about to dash over it, and then it... I don't know, something interrupts me.
I can still feel it. Coinage.
Wait. Oh. Well, you missed a dirt.
Oh.
Well, here's one of those fellas again. This time he brought a friend. I do like the imagery of just like the spike sticking out. Like the whole mountain is becoming part of this.
Oh.
So that is some kind of tail, she says.
Yeah, it's the tail of Typhon. Ah. Ah.
It really does sound like the theme from Batman the Animated Series there. I hadn't noticed till now. No wonder I like the music up here.
Ooh. Oh. Yeah, see? I told you. Clobbered. Where are you? Ooh, that was a big chunk of damage.
Well, you've got the tail more than halfway dead. I'm sure you'll manage the whole thing. Whew. Monster repelled. Not even defeated. Because, of course, that's just his tail.
The monster, that was Typhon.
That was Typhon. The big bad from before the beginning of time.
What?
In Hesiod's Theogony, the battle between Typhon and Zeus
Oh, there were some things I could have collected. Oh well.
was so fierce that the entire earth became covered in lava.
You made it all the way up here. That's great. Except what isn't
All the
great
rock melted and the seas boiled.
Typhon starts stealing all his brood.
This storm, this infestation. All of this is Typhon's doing then. How did he get here? How do we stop him?
No easy answers to you, except Greg's put this on as all part of his plan. The others can hold facts to while in Pop's palace, but they need your help. I better report to Heck.
I love how Hermes just abbreviates everything. Gramps, meaning Kronos. Pop's palace is the stronghold of Olympus. The seat of the gods.
All
And
my authority.
Heck for Hecate. Instead of Kate, which is what actually ended up happening.
This is it.
Though it is hard to imagine somebody naming their daughter after the goddess of witchcraft on purpose. But it certainly happened. There he is, father of all monsters, with his many, many, many eyeballs.
There's something going on here, where I think, no, my cast hasn't gotten unbound. Okay. But I am unable to cast.
Huh.
Which is unfortunate because that is a big source of my damage.
That's very strange. So, like, you're just hitting the cast button and it isn't doing anything? Oh,
Yeah.
It looks like you cast.
Oh, okay. I guess it just... Alright. Oh, God.
I do think it's funny that, you know, one of the ways that people design monsters is to have an uncanny number of eyes, or like eyes too big or too weird. Eyes.
Everyone lend me your strength.
I do like this like little 3D Zeus. It's the only time we get him.
Finish this.
Look, his tongue is a snake with an eyeball in it.
He's recovered.
It's amazing.
And fall back to the palace. Fight!
The evolution of eyes is actually a great advantage, and not at all.
Ooh. Wait.
Wait, you got it?
Tula got him.
Tula did it again! What a good kitty! You deserve all the naps. You deserved all the naps. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Tula is a very good kitty.
So, yeah.
So I want to... can I encourage you to move on from this screen so that we can talk about
Oh, yeah.
Olympus?
Yeah. I was just... needed a moment to catch my breath.
Wasn't expecting you to win the first time.
Tearing apart the
Good
forces
job.
of the gods starts to relent. Perhaps because its monstrous source is nowhere to be found.
At least for now. Enough of this place.
Almost there. An ether gate. To all my family on the mountain, let me pass.
And here we have the untouched heart of Olympus. The Palace of Zeus. The sacred space atop the mountain.
It's daybreak.
Milanoe has never seen the sun before, remember? It's always night. And she does not live on the surface.
There was somewhere where it pulled back to get an even better view, but... So here's some lyre.
Yeah, and you see the beautiful flower-covered Olympus, roses and cypress trees. So that is a depiction of Athena. You can see that she is not in her wartime garb this time. Her shield is much simpler, so is her spear. You can actually see her face.
Lord Dionysus.
He, on the other hand, is wearing even less, which is
Not
appropriate to
Ares.
him. Ares also wearing much less than any time that we would normally see him. Generally, he is depicted in armor,
Thought of
and
justice.
that's actually a very weird sword. That's not a Greek sword.
Yeah.
That is. What is Dionysus holding? He's got a wine jug in one hand. What's in the other hand? I can't actually tell.
Is that some sort of plate or bowl?
Maybe it's a crosshair, a wine bowl. It's a little bit odd. This is Hephaestus. Obviously, is a nice action shot for a statue. Very difficult to do.
The majestic palace of Zeus stands resolute and strong, for the combined might of the gods has kept that seat of power safe, even from such monstrous adversaries as they face.
These must be just the palace grounds.
So you can see Hephaestus, his anvil. I mean, it's reasonably likely that he made these statues himself. So of course he's gonna look fucking cool. He does look fucking cool. And look at his beautiful wife. Also wearing absolutely nothing. Perching on a mini pedestal, as is actually fairly common in Greek statues, but the reason that they do that is to make sure that the marble is stable enough. Because you see how her feet are barely touching the plinth. And so it would be very likely that if they tried to take all of that support column out, that the statue would fall over. So that's why you see statues with, like, leaning on a pillar or a tree or, like, a rock. Like, there's a famous Apollo Soroktonos. So there's Artemis, all in green. Also, these statues, notice, do have color on them, some of them. This is not as much color as you would actually typically see on a Greek statue. Usually they had much more color than this. Although it's very obvious here with Artemis, since both her hair and her garments are a nice green. And she's got, a game bird on one hand and then a real bird on her shoulder. Very cute. But still with her bow, even in courtly garb. And then her twin Apollo in bright yellow, the colors of light, with that lyre we were talking about. Here made of gold instead of tortoise shell.
I'm looking to see, because these are all of the sort of second
The
generation
younger
gods, except
gods.
for Hermes.
Oh, yeah, he's younger Oh, you mean Hermes?
That Hermes is not
here.
depicted here.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe he is in the. So now we have. Okay,
Yeah,
there's Hermes.
And look at the way that Hermes is depicted, right? Because we generally see Hermes, again, much more covered up. And, like, this statue makes him look boyish in a way that he doesn't seem when we encounter him. And you can see that he's holding his caduceus, the staff. It's a little bit hard to recognize in this form, but he's got the winged hat and hat and shoes. And he's got the caduceus, which is a staff wound about by two snakes. So all of his traditional ornamentation, but he looks much more like...
What is under his arm? Is that
I
a
think
helmet?
that's part of the caduceus.
Oh.
It's a little hard to discern how that's designed. And then... and then we have Demeter, looking much less severe than we're used to seeing her, although still with the braids wound around her front, which is not how she's typically depicted in Greek statues. But she does have a sheaf of grain over her shoulder, so her in her aspect as goddess of growing things, not in her aspect of winter. Poseidon honestly looks pretty much the same as we see him. Hestia, who is no longer an Olympian, She gave up her place for Dionysus, but she is one of the older gods. You'll notice that all of the first generation of gods are significantly taller in their statues, right? They're just bigger shapes.
Uncle Zeus.
Zeus, also looking much as he does now. And Hera, both of them majestically standing watch over their real counterparts.
But no Hades, which he was never in
True.
Olympus. So Apollo is playing the lyre and singing.
It's good to see you, Sunshine, but you'd best speak to Father first.
Welcome, young lady, to our family's glorious abode. You have our thanks for seeing to it that the monster Typhon failed to reach us here.
And you have our regrets that my lord husband left you to confront that horrid creature on your own. Most of the others are still fortified in the palace. Forgive our rudeness.
There's nothing to forgive, Queen Hera. I am honored to have met you and King Zeus face to face and seen the glory of Olympus firsthand. I owe it to your generous support these many nights.
Come now, Melinoi. We have a shared objective after all. And so long as Kronos sits upon your father's throne, that objective remains incomplete.
Hurrying her off when she only just arrived, husband? Although we've little here for entertainment other than Apollo's plucking. At least our enemy shall be back at our gates before long.
Of course, like any mortal would, Apollo's plucking would be
Overwhelmingly beautiful. It's actually kind of interesting that his song is so subdued in comparison to even the other songs of this game. I mean, Supergiant is known for their beautiful music.
musically. It reminds me a bit of the hymn to Zagreus that Orpheus sings in Hades 1, although that one is a little bit more. There's more to recommend it in terms of like
Complexity.
yeah.
I don't think I can remain anyhow. I need to consult with the witch at the crossroads. She may have thoughts on how to rid ourselves of both our great foes at once.
We shall find a means of that, I have no doubt. And until then, we shall be better prepared to meet their charge.
Go on, my dear. We're unaccustomed to expressing gratitude as you can plainly see. Until such time as your Lord Father and his own queen are restored, there's little cause for cheer, I think.
So, one thing that's really interesting about this interchange is that they're, Hera's talking about how they're, being rude and not very good hosts and there's not much entertainment. This is, she's talking around the concept of xenia, or guest host right. So, I mean, Melinoi would be entitled to be here regardless as part of the family, but it is incumbent upon people in Greek culture to welcome strangers and travelers who come in peace into their homes, to offer them food and drink and shelter and no questions until they are ready to depart. They obviously are bypassing a lot of that because they can and because it is convenient for them, but that's what Hera's kind of hinting at here, is like, we should be being better hosts, and in a time that was not so fraught we would be. But just so that, that we're kind of touching on this cultural point of honor here.
Perhaps soon enough.
You did it, Sunshine. I didn't say I knew you would, but the truth is I had an inkling of doubt, especially once I saw Typhon for myself.
So, of course, Apollo was not born when Zeus fought Typhon and imprisoned him under the earth.
I wanted you to take our minds off of what's happening. At least you brought us a bit of a reprieve so I could play again at all.
to the defenses and make ready for the monster's next attack. Now I had better go. My headmistress is expecting my return.
Can't we just contact her by Boom? I'll put one forward for you in case that works. And thanks for everything, guys.
Boone, of course, being the way that they've been contacting her along her route.
May I? I'm unaccustomed to being on this side. I see Eris, I think. Wait, headmistress, is that you? Can you hear me?
In the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message. And anyway, you can even hear me yonder. I bid you to return. We have matters to discuss.
I have to go now, everyone. Please, take care. And let the others know I'm sorry to have missed them. I'll return. Return to Shadow now.
I think that is a wonderful place for us to stop for the day. Thank you so much for coming along with us. And next time, perhaps, we will see what can be done about this situation. Until then, keep learning, friends.